Hello everyone, I hope you all are doing well. This side Priya Bhatia, and in this specific video we will be focusing on our next aspect of measuring the impurity in a decision tree. So I hope you remember that a tree data structure is something where we will be having a non-linearity based decision nodes, right? And in the previous video we have seen that how we will be able to determine that which particular node will become the root node, like how the splits will happen. And we have seen that Gini index can basically help, as a user we can determine that okay, whichever uh, uh, node that we have, or you can say whichever feature that we have, will be having a minimum Gini impurity or Gini index that will be categorized or that will be considered as a priority one, in which we will take that as a root node and the next internal node that we have. Now, in this video, our focus is to determine the next important aspect. As I told you that, by default, Gini is the measure, and I have shown you the documentation as well. But today we will talk about that. First of all, what's the mathematical intuition behind this entropy part per se? What is this information gain which I'm talking about here? And then a follow-up video also I will shoot after this, where I'll talk about the difference between Gini and entropy. But obviously, before understanding that aspect, which is very important and interesting video, I just want to showcase you that what is actually entropy is all about, and how with the help of the mathematical intuition we will be able to evaluate that. So we will try to take the same example that I have taken in the previous part of the video, so that we can do a better comparison in the upcoming part of the video. So without wasting any time, let's get started. So now, whenever we are talking about this term as entropy, I hope that you guys start remembering the old days where I think in 11th, 12th classes in chemistry, we have a concept of entropy, right? If I'll ask from you what is the literal meaning of entropy, and if you recall those days, you must know that entropy simple meaning is clearly indicates a measure of randomness, if I'm not wrong, right? That's what we have understood in the chemistry classes as well, right? It's a measure of randomness. So if let's say I will give you example, if I'll ask from you, you can just pause the video and speak it up, that what could be the possible answer you feel should be there. If let's say I will be having two jars, and in these two jars I have the molecules available. For example, in this jar the pattern looks like this, and in this jar the pattern looks like this, right? And if I'll ask from you that out of these two jars available, which particular jar is having a high entropy, or in other words, which particular jar will have a higher randomness, so what will be the possible answer you will say to me? You will say that jar number 1 or jar number 2. Maybe you can just pause the video and let me know. Definitely, I believe you guys will say that Priya, it's for sure that in jar number 1 there is more randomness, because particles can easily traverse from one place to other place, right? So it means that it is having a highest randomness, and in other words it is having a high entropy as well, right? In other words, we can say that randomness is high and entropy is also high. So what I'm trying to convey here is that when we will be having a high randomness, right, that is something which indicates the entropy part. Similar to that aspect, how we can relate this concept in a decision tree, let's try to understand. And by the way, if you remember, the way to evaluate this entropy, if we go with the mathematical part, is something, if you remember that, it will be negative of summation of I is equals to 1 to c, how many number of factors, data points, classes that you have. In our ML based specific problems, we will obviously focus on the number of classes, right? 1 to c, and minus of p of I log of p of I, where p of I is nothing but it indicates the probability. So if you remember, the way to evaluate the Gini index was, if you remember that, we have already discussed in our last class, where if you remember, let me just again go back and try to showcase you. We have talked about a Gini index, where we have seen that the same data set, if we are taking it up, the way to evaluate the Gini part is, it is 1 minus summation of p of I whole square. So one thing which you will observe here, that when we're talking about entropy, somehow the logarithmic term came into picture. But when we're talking about Gini, there is no logarithmic term. And but the common thing between these two is that both of them are somehow dependent on probability factor. So probability plays a very important role when we're trying to calculate the Gini part, or when we're trying to calculate the, I would say, entropy part, right? So what I'm trying to convey here is that, in other words, if someone will ask you in terms of computational part, so always remember, or I think you must also feel that logarithmic is something, by the way, it is log base 2, okay? So logarithmic is something in which it is a quite expensive task. So always remember that to evaluate this entropy part per se, it will take more time as comparable to Gini. And that's the main reason, if you will refer the documentation in the last part of the video I have shown you as well, and maybe you can refer it again. Now I'm not again opening it up. You can just refer the documentation again at your own pace, and you can see that by default the measure is Gini in that case, right? By default the measure is Gini. The only reason is that it is computationally easier task as comparable to entropy. This is computationally expensive task. Why is that so? Because the way to evaluate this entropy is something which is logarithmic. That's the main reason, because of which entropy is evaluated only when we generally require that. Otherwise, we'll go for Gini only. Now, to solve the same problem, if I'll ask you how can we evaluate the entropy, let's try to understand that aspect. And apart from this, there is a term called as information gain. What is the meaning of that? What is the meaning of information gain? We will try to understand that. So information gain is the difference between the entropy for the complete class that you are having, target class. For example, in this data set, this is our target column, right? So what we will do is we will try to evaluate what is the entropy for a complete target class that we have minus what is the entropy for this weighted average. So we will try to evaluate the weighted average, just like the way we have evaluated for the Gini index. We will try to do the same thing here as well, and then we will try to make the difference between these two. And this difference is actually giving me the idea that which particular variable is having a highest information gain. So always remember, this entropy is a measure of impurity only. It's a measure of impurity only. It's a measure of impurity. And obviously what you want is, you want that entropy value to be very, very low, which indicates that that particular feature factor is having a purity, right? So when you're trying to make a difference between these two, that difference, if let's say you are having a very huge impurity, right? Very huge impurity, very huge entropy, in that case, obviously your weighted average will be very high. So when you make the difference, you will get a very low value. But on the other hand, when you are saying that my impurity value will be very low, it means your entropy of weighted average is very low. In that case, your information gain will be very, very good. So what we want at the end of the day, we want that information gain value, or the difference value between these two factors will be high, So higher the information gain, it means, in other words, it will try to provide me the most important information, and I will consider that particular feature. If let's say any of the part is not clear, don't worry, please stay tuned. I will try to give you one example now. We will solve it numerically and everything will be clear at the end of the session. Just believe me, okay? So what we can do now, without wasting any time, without talking more theoretically part, let me jump towards the numerical example, okay? So what we can do here is, we will try to evaluate the entropy for the complete target variable first, because I have shown you that's the difference we have to evaluate. So what we can do, we can say what is the entropy for a target variable. Now, what is the entropy for target variable? You will say minus of probability of yes, log of probability of yes, because we have only two classes, yes and no, minus of probability of no, minus of probability of no, log of probability of no. So if I'll ask you, what is the probability of yes? Think over it. So if you remember from our last session, there are 14 records we have. If you will count, what is the meaning of probability? How many number of yes are there divided by total number of yes we have? So just count it down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. So can I say I will be having in total 8 number of yes? Can I say, everyone? So in other words, if I'll try to compute the probability of yes, the answer would be minus of 8 divided by 14 log of base 2. Again, if I forget mentioning that, please make sure you will take this under the consideration. Again, obviously, how many no's are left? I think 6 no's are left. So minus of, I would say 6 by 14 log base 2, 6 by 14. So what you will do, you will try to evaluate this term. So you can just maybe use a scientific calculator and you can try to evaluate what is the log base to 8 by 14, what is the value of log base to 6 by 14. You will try to evaluate that. and then you will be able to get the answer of entropy of a target variable that we have. The number will come out to be 0.98522. You can just re-verify. Calculation might be somewhere wrong, but I hope the concept is pretty much clear to everyone that the way to evaluate the entropy is negative of summation of all the number of classes we have, because here we are talking about only two classes. It's a binary classification problem where the target is either yes or no or 0 or 1. So in that case, we will try to evaluate the probability of yes, log base 2 probability of yes, negative of probability of no, log base 2 probability of no. So you have to evaluate how many number of terms are there which are yes. Accordingly, you can evaluate for that. How many terms are there which are no? Accordingly, you can evaluate that. And you will be able to evaluate the entropy for a whole target variable that you have. I hope this part is pretty much clear to everyone. Now, next move ahead. So this part is clear. Now, what I have to do? I have to see the entropy for, let's say, class variable. So I will try to evaluate the entropy, and that to a weighted average, because just like the way we have done for Gini-Dex, we have to do the same thing for a class variable as well. So the same table we need to create for the class part. So we have 4 classes, 8, 9, 10 and 11. So let's try to evaluate the entropy first of all for the class value equals to 8. For the class value equals to 8. So how will you evaluate? You will check, again, you will just check it out. How many number of yes are there out of total yes, right? So probability of yes given the class is 8 and probability of no given the class is 8. So you can see that when I'm talking about 8 and yes, 1, and then we will be having 2. And in total, yes, so 8 record belongs to 3 parts. 1, we have 3 records, right? 2 and 3. If I'll ask you, what is the probability of yes given the class is equals to 8? So what is your answer? Just pause the video. You can let me know. It will be 2 by 3. Can I say? Because in total, belonging to class 8, we have 3 records, out of which 2 are yes. So it means that I can evaluate this very easily. I will say minus of 2 by 3 log base 2 by 3. Further, we will proceed ahead. What is the probability of no belonging to class equals to 8? So it will be minus of 1 by 3 log base 2 1 by 3. So what you will do is you will try to evaluate this term, and the answer which you will be able to get after doing this is 0.918. So in this way, you will be able to evaluate the entropy for a class vector as 8. Make sense? So this is what you will be able to get here. Now the next part would be where you will try to focus on the class value as 9. So in this case, what will happen? In case of 9, how many 9s are there? 1, 2, okay. Same thing, 9, yes, 2, single 9, no. It means we have in total 3 records in which 2 of them are yes and single record is there for which the value is no. So how can we evaluate the entropy for the class as 9? I think it will be exactly same as the above one, because we have the exact same probabilities. So it will be minus of 2 by 3 log of 2 by 3 minus of 1 by 3 log of 1 by 3, base will be 2 only. So the answer will remain same. It will be 0.918. This is how we will be able to evaluate that. Now let's move to the next part. Entropy for class equals to 10 and 11 is pending. So let's do the same thing. Let's try to calculate what is the probability of yes given the class as 10. So what is the probability of yes given the class as 10? So let's see that. So let's try to focus on that aspect. 10 and yes, no. So 1 record is there, 2 record is there, 3 is there, and 4 is there. So in this case, you can see only 1 single record is there where the yes is available out of the given 4 records. So if you will try to evaluate the probability, it is minus of 1 by 4 log of 1 by 4 minus of 3 by 4 log of 3 by 4. So if you will just solve this number, you will be able to get the answer as 0.811 if I am not wrong. You can just re-verify all these answers. I have just to avoid that calculation part wastage. I have just done that prior to that recording part itself, but you can just re-verify. Now the last part which is pending is that what is the entropy for the class variable as 11. So what is the entropy for the class equals to 11? So we can recheck that part. So I think that will be similar only, because I remember in the last part we have seen the similar performance only. But again, let's do that. So let's see the thing in this case as well. So what we can do here, we can try to check 11. So let me do one thing. Let me just erase this part as well. Now let's try to check. 11 and yes, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So 3 are yes, only single is no. So what we can do is, we can try to evaluate that. We will be able to get minus of 3 by 4, log of 3 by 4, minus of 1 by 4, log of 1 by 4. Same only, it's just that the value is interchanged. So the answer will remain same, it is 0.811. So we will be able to get the entropy value for the class is equals to 11. Now the final result which we want is the entropy for a whole class, right? With which we will be able to evaluate this weighted average for a complete class, So how can we evaluate that? Let's try to understand that part as well. So in this case, you can see how many number of records are there, which belongs to 8. So in total, we have 3 records which belongs to 8 out of 14. So you can say 3 by 14 into what is the entropy for class 8? The entropy is 0.918. 0.918 plus. Again, you will check what is the, how many number of records are there which belongs to class 9? It is again 3. So you will again recheck that part. 3 by 14 into 0.918. Again, how many number of records are there which belongs to class 10? It is total 4. So 4 by 14 into I think 0.811 plus again 4 by 14 for class 11 as well, and the entropy is 0.811. So if you will just evaluate this term, I think the factor which you will be able to get is 0.8574. So this is the weighted average of the whole class you will be able to get. Now to calculate the information gain, the way could be, what is the entropy for a complete target value? So information gain for a IG for a complete class feature we want to evaluate, which will come out to be the target value information entropy part, which is 0.98522 minus what is the entropy for the complete whole class as a weighted average? It is 0.8574. 0.8574. So if you will just see the difference, it will, I think, come out to be approximately 0.1278. So you will be able to see that this is the information gain which we got for a class feature F1, for feature F1. But we have 2 features, right? This is the feature F1 we have, this is the feature F2 we have. Now what we will do is, we will try to evaluate similarly the information gain for feature F2, and whichsoever feature is having a highest information gain, that I will categorize it as a main, I would say, root node, right? Decision node in that particular scenario, in a tree. Same thing we have to do again. And if you remember in the last video when we are trying to solve for both of the features, the winning part was class, because the class was having a lower Gini value, right? Do you remember that? Let's see whether we will be able to get the similar result in the entropy as well, where the class will win. Let's see that. So let's do the same task for gender now. So what we will do is, we will try to evaluate the similar things for a gender now. So what we will do? Obviously, entropy for a target will remain same. So half of our task is same, because this portion will remain definitely same for all the features that we have, right? This entropy for a whole target is same for all the features in a given data set. So obviously this will remain same. So our focus would be in which we will try to work upon the entropy, or I would say weighted average for a gender part, right? For this, we have to evaluate first of all entropy when the gender is equal to male. Can I say gender is equals to male? So you can just check it out. When the gender is male, how many yes are there out of total number of records? So let's re-verify that thing. 1 record, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It means in total we will be having 8 males, out of which, if you will just check it out, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think out of which 4 are yes. So if we will try to evaluate that, so we will be able to get the answer as 4 by 8. Let's do the number again. It is 4 or 5. I'm just re-verifying with my calculation. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Sorry, it's 5 by 8, right? So what is happening is, we have total male values as 5. So it will be minus of 5 by 8 log base 2, 5 by 8 minus of remaining values are 3. So for the gender equals to male, probability of no would be, so it will be minus of probability of yes log base 2 probability of yes minus of probability of no log base 2 probability of no. So let's evaluate that. Minus of 3 by 2 log base 2 3 by 8. So let's evaluate this term and the number will come out to be 0.954. You can just check it out. Now again, we will try to find out the entropy for a gender is equal to, let's say, female. For the gender is equals to female. So what we will do here? Again, we will check. So that is for sure if we will be having 8 as male. So definitely we are left with only 6 values which belongs to female. Now let's check it out. In that category of female, how many yes are there and how many no's are there? So let's try to see that aspect as well. Let me remove everything here and let's try to count how many I would say yes are there in terms of female. So 1, then 2, then 3. So it means 3 out of 6. So what we can do is we can try to evaluate that. Minus of 3 by 6 log base to 3 by 6 minus of 3 by 6 log base to 3 by 6. You can just evaluate this and the answer will come out to be 1. By the way, you will enjoy these kind of videos if you are working with the calculations with me. If you're not working and you're just watching these videos, you might feel boring. So please make sure to make it bit interesting. I can help you out. Please try to have copy and pen with you. And whatever calculations I'm working with, you can also do the working with me so that it will be more fun and it will be more interesting, right? So now we will be having the gender as female. What we can do is we can now try to evaluate the final weighted average. So how can we evaluate that weighted average? So we know for males we have 8 records out of 14 records into what is the entropy for the male part? It is 0.954, right? Plus remaining are 6. So we have 6 out of 14 records and the entropy is 1 here. So we can just evaluate that and you will be able to get the result as 0.974. So this is the this is the information, weighted average which we will be able to get for a gender variable, right? Now, what is the final result as an information gain? Let's try to evaluate that part as well. Information gain for a final gender feature, which is F2 feature that we have. And this is what we will be able to get as target is same 0.98522 minus what is the weighted average for a gender part? It is nothing but is 0.974 if I'm not wrong. So just write that number 0.974 and you will be able to get the answer as 0.01 approximately. Now you can see very clearly, right? The information gain for this particular class is higher as comparable to gender. So it means that we can make class as the first decision node or as the root node while creating a decision tree. So can you see that the result which we got for a Gini index, right? That the class will be the winning one and the result which we will get after evaluating a information gain IG, both are same. So always remember that internally these two intuitions are same. They are trying to give us that particular node which is having a minimum impurity which can do a better split, right, as comparable to other feature that we have. But the way to evaluate that is different. Gini index will help us to determine in a different way altogether and information gain will help us determine in a different way altogether. If you are not evaluating an information gain, if you are just working towards entropy, so we will work for minimum entropy only because at any point of time, this entropy is nothing but the measure of impurity only. So we are working with the impurity which should be minimum. Information gain should be maximum. Entropy will be minimum. This is how things will work. So I hope that you will be able to get the complete mathematical intuition behind this part. I'll try to share these notes with everyone and the calculations that I have done. If you have any sort of trouble, any sort of doubt, please reach out to me via email or via LinkedIn. I am available in both of the platforms. And I hope that now you will be able to get an idea that how these two factors are different and how we can do the evaluation for the same. So now I hope that you will be able to get a better understanding of how entropy works. What is its mathematical intuition? What is the way to evaluate that? In the upcoming part of the video, as I told you, let's try to discuss about the difference between these two. Before coming to the next video, please make sure that the two videos, the previous one, which is about the Gini index, and this one, which is about the entropy, mathematical idea is pretty much clear to everyone. And how basically we can evaluate both of the stuffs is pretty much clear to everyone. Then only you will be able to understand and enjoy the upcoming video, where we will figure it out that whatever learning we have gained so far, if we will try to plot it graphically, what are the differences we will be able to get. And at the end of the upcoming video, I will showcase you that in real time practical scenarios, at what point of time you should go for Gini, and at what point of time you should go for entropy. So the next video is, you can say, as a concluding video for both of these concepts. And I'm again saying this videos which we are talking about of our decision tree will be really helpful for you when we are talking about a random forest as well. So please make sure that these videos of decision tree, you will watch it very cautiously. If you are not able to understand it in one go, please try to rewatch it again. That's the advantage of these self-paced courses, where you have the access to rewatch the videos multiple times. But just make sure that whatever concepts I'm trying to convey here, you will be easily able to understand, right? And I hope that you are literally enjoying that part as well. With this, I'll see you all in the upcoming part. Please stay tuned and enjoy the upcoming video, where we will see the differences. And just do one thing before coming to the next video. Make sure you will give a thought that now you know what is Gini index, and now you know what is entropy after this video. Give a thought that what do you think, what other differences do we have in both of these things, apart from evaluation, right? Everyone knows the evaluation part, but apart from evaluation, what other things have you observed? Or can you conclude something that at what point of time we will go for entropy, and at what point of time we will go for Gini index part per se? And then I think you can enjoy in a better manner. You will recheck that whatever things you have thought and whatever things I'm conveying, is that same or is that something different? You are going somewhere wrong, or any other thought you have, you can share with me, right? With this, bye bye everyone, and I'll see you all very soon.